we're not looking to seek conflict with China. We're seeking competition. And we can do that strategically, we can do that safely, and we can do that with our partners and allies in the region and all around the world.
All right, that was Deputy Pentagon Press Secretary Sabrina Singh explaining the Biden administration's policy on China. Xi Jinping, meanwhile, is in Saudi Arabia, meeting with the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The two expected to discuss energy and sign agreements worth more than $29 billion. Joining me right now is Stevens Inc. Executive Vice President. She is Senior Policy Advisor and former Senior Advisor to Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Mary Kissel is here. Mary, great to see you.
It's great to be with you,
Thanks so much for being here. So what do you make of Xi Jinping making the rounds now in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, well, this is a very significant visit, Maria, and it's not the first time that Xi Jinping has attempted to put a wedge between the United States and our allies. Recall that he recently welcomed some top EU representatives to Beijing because he'd like to pull the EU away from us. Same thing going on here in Saudi Arabia. He's demonstrating, hey, Saudi Arabia doesn't have to just sell oil to the rest of the world or buy weapons from the United States. They can just do business with China. They can buy weapons from us. They can sell oil to us. And in fact, they're a major trading partner of Saudi Arabia. So you'll see Xi Jinping got a welcome that was not afforded to President Biden. The Chinese airline landed with great fanfare. He was welcomed at the airport with high representatives from Saudi Arabia. So this is a significant strategic move by China. And it's a reminder that if we shun our allies, it will have consequences.
And yet we don't have any policy pushing back on this authoritarianism. I mean, what should the United States be doing, and where is this going in terms of the U.S. and China's relations?
Well, I think it's more than just the U.S. and China, right? This is the free world versus a block of nations, right? Communist China, Iran, Russia, North Korea, Pakistan, et cetera. But it's not just these two blocks. It's these nations in the middle that are going to be pivotal, whether it's Saudi Arabia, whether it's Turkey, whether it's Brazil, whether it's India, and we have to pay attention. And you're right, we need to come up with a strategy. We have to incent these countries to be on our side. And that's what that's the kind of thinking that I think we're not quite doing.
I think he makes such a great point that he's putting this wedge, between the United States and our own allies. And that was on full display when Joe Biden met with Xi Jinping the other day at the G20, right? I mean, Xi Jinping took one step. Biden had to walk across the entire stage, basically bowing to the king, Xi Jinping. And they've got surveillance programs in America, even a police station here in America.
Yeah, well, it's very interesting when I talk to our clients about their investments, right? And you not necessarily even having to invest in China, right? I mean, there are a lot of American companies that have a significant amount of exposure to communist China. And they're asking me, what is going on? Is this going to stabilize? You saw markets rally, even at the hint that China might reopen. And so they're coming to me and they're saying, well, is everything okay? Do I have to worry about these investments anymore? And our answer is no. You do have to worry because the nature of this regime is not going to change. So Joe Biden in this administration may want dialogue. Markets may rally in the short term, but medium to long term, this dynamic is not changing. And the risk profile is only getting more complicated and significant over time. And we have to be honest about that. So you've got people looking at, different plays. They're looking at, the reshoring to Mexico, looking at companies that facilitate that. They're looking at energy companies that are going to supply Europe as Europe goes to look for other sources of energy that don't come from Russia. But I think this Xi visit is quite significant, Maria. I think it's a dynamic and a sign that we are in an era that there's no turning back from. This is not the 9/11 era. This is not the Cold War. This is something very different.
This is incredible.